friends, speaking bad to someone, gossiping, doing evil, feeling jealous, all these stop your progress and happiness. They have a deep impact on your life. Can what is written in destiny ever be erased? In today's beautiful story, you will know that can whatever is written before our birth be erased. If you want to know all this, then please listen to this beautiful story till the end. Friends, this story is very educational, important, and informative. I request you stay with us till the end of the story. Hello friends, you are heartily welcome to my channel. It is a matter of ancient times. In a village there lived a poor farmer named Antonio. In his family, only he and his wife lived. In the farmer's house, after a long time, a boy was born. The farmer and his wife were very happy. All the people around were coming to congratulate the farmer. One day it was early morning when a monk called for alms from outside the farmer's house. Today was a happy day in the farmer's house, so he called Sage inside and asked him to sit. When Sage sat down, the farmer said to Sage, "A child has been born in our house. After a long time, please name it." As soon as the sage picked up the child in his lap, the sage saw that there was a symbol on the child's arm, which represents Raj Yoga. The sage was surprised to see the symbol on the child's arm. When the farmer saw the sage, surprised and upset, he said, "What is the matter? Why do you look so upset?" The sage said, "Son, I am not upset. Rather, I am very happy because your son is very lucky. King symbol is written in your son's destiny." Farmer said, "I don't understand what you are saying. What do you want to say?" The sage said, "Son, your son will become a king one day. He will be married to the princess of this kingdom at the age of 16, and then he will become the king of this city," the sage said. Antonio was very happy after hearing this. When the people of the village came to know that one day Antonio's son would become the king of this city, then everyone started coming to see him. One day, the king of that city was hunting deer in a faraway forest. He went out, but the king did not catch the deer. The king felt thirsty while chasing the deer, but the king did not find any river or pond nearby from where he could drink water. The king was wandering here and there in the forest for a long time. Wandering in search of water, he reached the same village where Antonio lived. Then the king's eyes fell on a priest. The king asked the priest for water. The priest asked the king to stop and went to get water from inside his church. The priest brought water and gave it to the king. The king started drinking water. After drinking the water, the king saw that many people had gathered outside and were going. When the king asked the priest about those people, the priest said that all of them were going to Antonio's house because a very lucky child is born in his house, and a sage has made a prophecy about him. The king asked, "What such prophecy has sage made due to which all the people are going there?" The priest said that the sage has told that when Antonio's son will be 16 years old, he will marry the daughter of the king of this kingdom, and his son will become the king of this kingdom. Hearing the priestess' words, the king got very angry that after all, the son of an ordinary farmer would marry his daughter. How can the king say to the priest, I am the king of this kingdom, and what do you think? I will marry my daughter to the son of an ordinary farmer." The priest said, "Oh, king, whatever is written in the destiny of this child, he should do it. No one can erase the king." He was very proud of his power. He said, "I will erase God's writings on you." Priest said smilingly, "O king, I too am like this, and you are also like this. See." The king saluted priest and went back to his place. He went to the palace. At night, the king was unable to sleep. He was thinking that under no circumstances should the sage's prediction come true. Next day, the king changed his disguise and reached Antonio's village. King Antonio kept asking people. Reached Antonio's house, the king went outside Antonio's house and called him. Antonio heard his voice and came out of the house and asked him, "Who are you and why have you come?" The king said, "I am a businessman and I also have my own clothes business and nearby. I live in the same village. I have heard from people that a lucky child has been born in your house, and King's symbol is written in his destiny." Antonio said, "Yes, Sir G, you have heard right." The king said to Antonio, "If you are bad, if you don't agree, then let me tell you one thing." Antonio said, "Yes, Sir G, tell me." The king said, "Give me your child. In return, I will give you a lot of money and will also take care of your child." Antonio's wife said, "No, Sir G, I want my child. I can't give it to you." The king said, "You are a small farmer. How will you be able to raise your child well?" Antonio, after listening to Sir, said, "Yes, sir, you are right. We cannot raise this child well." After listening to Antonio, his wife said, "Okay, sir, I am ready to give you my child. But when it turns 16 years old, then you will return it to me." The king said, "Yes, okay, when your child turns 16 years old." Saying this, the king took the child and went away from there. The king took the child with him and reached a river. The king thought that he would leave the child in the river and he would die, but the child, seeing the child's innocent face, he did not have the courage to leave him in the river. After thinking a lot, the king took a wooden box, sealed the child in the box and threw it in the water. The king thought that the box would sink into the deep river on its own, and the child would thinking that he would die. The king now went back to the palace with the certainty that now this child will not come back and he will not be married to my daughter. Erased what was written in fate. On the other side, the box flowed and reached the bank of a river where a rich businessman was resting in the water and seeing the sunset. When the businessman opened the box, he was surprised to see a child inside. He had no children. He took the child to his home. His wife saw the child. She was very happy when she asked him whose child this was. Then he told her about the child and how he was found floating in that river. Businessman and his wife thanked God with folded hands for the child. Now that child, Seth started growing up in the house of the boy and named him Julius. Gradually 16 years passed. Julius was very sensible and intelligent. One day, the teacher was teaching Julius. Whatever the teacher asked, Julius would immediately answer it. Seeing this, the teacher told the son that you are very intelligent and knowledgeable. You will become a great man in future. The teacher was praising the son when suddenly the same king was passing by who was going for some work in another state. When he looked towards the son, the king stopped there. The king asked the Julius, "Son, who are you? Where do you live? And what is your father's name?" After this, when the king came back, he went to the house of Julius and he said to businessman that your son is very intelligent and wise. After listening to the king, businessman said, "King, I am not his real father. I have only brought him up, but he is my father. He is more than a son." The king asked businessman, "Is this boy not your son? Then where did you get this boy?" Then businessman told the king the whole story of how he had found him in a box in the flowing water. When the king heard the words of businessman, he was shocked. The king understood that this child was the same child whom I had thrown into the river 16 years ago. The king and businessman were still talking when the Julius came there. The king saw the Julius. When he saw, he said to businessman, "I have to go ahead for some work. If you deliver one of my letters to the queen in the hands of your son, then I will give her 50 pieces of gold." Julius, hearing this, said to the king, "Yes, why not? I am yours. I will definitely deliver the letter." The king silently wrote a message in the letter and put a seal on the letter and handed the letter to Julius and said, "Son, take this and deliver it to the queen." Julius went away with the letter. Julius was passing through a dense forest while walking, that he lost his way. It became night while searching for the way. Julius started looking for a place to spend the night. Then his eyes fell on a hut. Julius thought, I will spend the night here. Thinking this, Julius got down from the hut and went inside the hut. Gone. When Julius went inside, he saw an old woman cooking food. When the old woman saw Julius, she asked him, Son, who are you and why have you come inside without permission? Julius told about himself that he had lost his way. That's why he has come here to spend the night. Hearing Julius's words, the old woman felt pity on him, but then the old woman said to Julius, Son, it is not right for you to stay here because this is a den of bandits. Soon there will be bandits, those who are coming. If they see you here, then there will be trouble for you. Julius said, But ma'am, in such a terrible night, I cannot go anywhere else. If I go out, the wild animals will eat me. It is better that I stay here, in the corner. Saying this, Julius went to the corner and lay down. After some time, the robbers returned to their home. When the robbers saw the horse outside, Julius asked the old woman about it. The old woman told them that its name is Julius. It is very beautiful. He is a good-hearted child, and he is going to the palace on the king's work. When the bandits heard this, they got suspicious. They knew about the king's actions, so they took out the letter from Julius's pocket and started reading it. As soon as the bandits, when they read that letter, they all understood. The old woman asked them what was written in the letter. One of the robbers told that it is written in the letter that as soon as this boy reaches you, get him killed immediately and bury him somewhere far away. This work will be done until I reach. When the old mother heard this, she said, How wicked is this king, who is sending the letter to the person who is ordering him to be killed. Thinking this, the old woman thought that she should save this innocent child from the king. Then the robbers wrote another letter and replaced it with that letter and put it back in Julius's pocket. After this, the robbers left from there. As soon as the morning dawned, Julius woke up and thanked the old woman and left from there. After some time, he reached the palace. He went and gave the letter to the queen. When the queen read the letter, it was written in the letter that this boy is very intelligent and knowledgeable. He is worthy of marrying a princess, so before my arrival, you marry him to a princess. The queen started thinking that, after all, how could the king marry the princess to a stranger? But then she saw that the king's seal was also on the letter, hence, this boy could not lie. Thinking this, the queen married the princess to that young man. After a few days, when the king came back, he came to know that his daughter was married to the same young man. On hearing this, the king got furious and asked the queen, Why did you do all this? Then the queen told that king, As you said in the letter, it was written that I have done the same. The king asked the queen to show the letter. When the queen showed the letter, the king found something else written in the letter. Seeing this, the king got angry and told the soldiers to go and catch the Julius and bring the soldiers immediately. He went and caught Julius and brought him. The king angrily said to Julius, You have married my daughter by deceit, but I will not accept you as my son-in-law. Julius, after listening to the king, said, But sir, I have not cheated you. After listening to Julius, the king said, You want to fool me too, but I will not accept you as my son-in-law. While both of them were talking, a soldier came and said to the king, King, a priest has come outside. He will meet you at this very moment. Wanting to meet, the king ordered to bring the priest inside. When the priest came inside, the king got up and asked the reason for his coming. The priest said, King, it seems that you did not recognize me. The king said, No, I did not recognize you, no priest. Smilingly he said, I am the same person whom you had told about erasing the writings of fate 16 years ago. As soon as the priest said this, the king was suddenly shocked. He remembered everything. The Priest smiled and said, "Why fate?" The king lowered his eyes and said, "No, priest, I have lost at the hands of fate." Priest said, "O king, no one can win at the hands of fate, so now accept Julius as your son-in-law, and give him your kingdom." The king said, "Like priest." Priest left from there after explaining to the king. He apologized to Julius and handed over all the royal lessons to him. So friends, how did you like this story? Please tell us in the comment section, and if you liked it, then like this channel. Do subscribe. Let's meet in a new story like this. Till then, take care. Thank you.